Hello, welcome back to Counseling Made Simple with Ellen Francis. I'm back with the topic: Can a marriage survive after infidelity? A sensitive topic. I'm referring to it as sensitive because when people go through this experience, they don't normally speak to people, they don't talk to people about it. And before we get to know it, has involved violence and aggression in most cases. And that is because society has made us to believe that we have no freedom to just say it openly. So somebody was asking me, can their marriage go back to normal after this infidelity? It's kind of difficult for me to say yes or no, because as a counselor, we are not in the position to tell people what to do, because they are the one in the experience, so they are the one that will make those choices after infidelity or after whatever experience they are going through in their marriages. So what we do is that we help them, we support them to lay down their choices on the table, and we make them to see the disadvantage and advantage of whatever choices they are going to make. So before I move further, I just want to quickly give definition of infidelity. It is the act or a state of being unfaithful to spouse or to other partner. It can also be seen as cheating or as having an affair, and also it is referred to as violation of marriage set of rules and relationship norms. So when people go through this experience, they will be hungry, their commitment and trust and every effort that they have put in that relationship, they see it as being violated, and they can begin to have anger and resentments towards their spouses. And sometimes you see them, they will begin to develop low self-esteem because they think they are the reason why their spouse has gone out to have an affair. And in some severe cases, we see that people become depressed and they commit suicide. So when people come to me and tell me about something like this, what I actually say to them is they should be calm and they should not take decision too quickly in anger. And I always refer this period, this time of finding out, this time that you get to know that your marriage has been violated. I always compare it with when a burglar or an armed robber come to violate a home, and you get to find out that somebody has come to rob you. What do you do at this time? Do you have to be wise in confronting whoever that you found out that has come to violate you or that has come to rob you? Because if, imagine, an armed robber has come to violate your home, come to rob you, and you find out and you see the face that is a familiar person, maybe it's your neighbor or whoever. In some cases we see is a close friend, is a relative. What do you do at this time in your relationship? What do you do? I advise people not to be too confrontational. Challenging the person. If the person is desperate, they can hurt you, they can harm you. And even your spouse, this is very important. Even your spouse, if he or she is still much deep in that relationship and is not ready to let go, being confrontational, being too much confrontational, they can hurt you, they can harm you. And this is why we have cases of somebody is getting stabbed, somebody is getting killed, somebody is getting shot. I'm not saying that you cannot challenge your spouse when you find out that your marriage is being violated. But what I'm telling you is that don't put your life in the line, because remember that it is when you are alive that we can begin to talk about whether a marriage can survive after infidelity. So it is very important that you are wise when you are confronting your spouse or when you are confronting that person. I don't even advise people to go and confront their spouse lover. It's dangerous. And I will be telling you later in this video why it is very important to be wise when you are taking decision in this finding out hour. But now let me just go further to explain why people go out and have a fear. One, it could be expectation. Some people put expectation in their marriage, whether realistic or unrealistic. They put it there and they are not even communicating it to their spouse. Their spouse is not aware of it. It could be the way they grow up, the way they see marriages when they are growing up, and they just put it in their marriage. Is there. And if their spouse is not doing it, it become an issue and they go out. And then another thing might be that is just a void in them, and then they have this emptiness. They are not also communicating it. They go out one day, they see somebody who present as if they can help them to fill the void that they have, and before they know it, something lead to something, and I fear start from there. Or it could be that is a person that is generally doesn't know how to keep boundaries, communication boundary, environmental boundary, or personal boundary is an issue with this person. They will talk and speak anyhow where people are, including opposite sex. They will talk, and before you know it, when you begin to talk anyhow or speak loosely, somebody, if you are saying it around somebody that is not the right person, they will start to reciprocate back to you and begin to say some certain things that they are not supposed to say in front of you. And before you know it, they will become familiar and begin to tell you some deep things, some personal things that they're not supposed to say. And before you know, you are becoming too close, and then something can happen. And again, it could be lack of environmental boundary. Like, for example, you have a lodger in your house, and that lodger just barge into your room when you are not even decent. You have to let them know. You have to let them know the spaces that you've given them. They have to stay within the spaces that you're giving them. It's very important. Otherwise, before you know it, a line has been crossed and things begin to happen. And sometimes when it started happening, it's difficult to stop. Or it could be personal boundary as well. This one too is very important. Sometimes you see people, I've seen people, somebody will walk to them and touch them anyhow. You have to tell them off. Why? Let them know where you stand. Or somebody will stand very close to you, compromising position. Let them know where you stand. Let them know that you kept your boundary firmly. Even if they have thousands of thoughts and imagination in their head, they will not be able to communicate it. It's very important. Now, let me go to why I said it is very important for you to be wise when you are confronting your spouse, or if it happened that you are in a position to confront their lover, which I don't advise people to do anyway. This is the reason. When two people are having an affair, I'm going to discuss this in what's it called, spiritual way and the scientific way or biological way. When two people are having an affair together, I want to believe that we understand that it's not just a physical thing that is happening. What is happening is there is an exchange spiritually going on between these two people that is having sexual intercourse with themselves. There's a spiritual thing exchanging, and in that process there's exchange of power, and I'm going to explain it further later. Also, biologically, when two people are having intercourse with themselves, we have what we call oxytocin hormone, oxytocin hormone that exchange between two people. What this hormone does is that it make these two people to begin to have an emotional attachment. I forget to tell you that when you find out that your spouse is having an affair and they find it difficult to come back home, that means they are not just having an affair, they are having what we call emotional affair, meaning that this affair, they have developed an emotion with the person that they with their lover. It's different from an affair that somebody goes out, have maybe one night stand, come back home as if nothing happened. It's not good, but sometimes it happens. Go out, come back, maybe 3 months, maybe a day, maybe a year. As soon as the husband or the wife finds out, they apologize and nothing happen again, they stop it. But in a case where a spouse finds out that or find out that their husband or their wife is having an affair and they find it difficult to stop, even though they are losing things, even though they see their spouses going through some stresses and pain, but they find it difficult to come back home, that is because they are having an emotional infidelity. It is a kind of infidelity that is very, very dangerous. They are attached to their lover. This hormone, the work of this hormone is to make two people that are having intercourse to have emotional attachment, to have bond together, and they begin to have empathy for their lover, particularly the one that they are drawn to. They begin to have empathy for the one they are drawn to. So when people find out that they are doing this affair, they find it difficult to detach themselves and come back home. And also there's something that enhance this relationship. Environment, when environment is conducive, when an environment is peaceful, like for example they go to meet their lover, there's no pressure. Sometimes at home, the relationship with husband and wife, sometimes including children, with the pressure of other things that is involved, sometimes the environment might not be conducive. It could be that their affair happened within that time of there was no peace at home. So when they go out and the person that they are drawn to, their lover, get to understand that they are attached to them, the lover can manipulate that period and begin to make the environment, within the confinement of their fear, they will make it comfortable for this person, so that this person will not have mind of coming back home. And also their attitude, they will begin to do something that will make their lover to continue to stay with them. And the only thing that can separate them with this person is when the person that they are drawn to, the person that they are attached to, begin to misbehave and begin to do something that will make them to be having a second thought that actually this is not the perfect person that they thought this person is. That is when their mind will begin to be coming back home. But at that time that they are attached to their lover, it is very dangerous when somebody is trying to be in their middle to separate them. That is where we have cases where a husband will kill a wife or a wife will kill a husband. It's very important. Also, as a Christian, I've thought about spiritual connection. For this thing to be able to be separated, because this is what we Christian or believer, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, this is what we call ungodly attachment or ungodly soul tie. Prayer is the one that can separate this before the man will begin to see that what he is doing, or the woman will see that what he's doing is not good. So it is very important for you to understand whether your husband is involving or your wife is involving in what we call emotional attachment, so that you don't go and put your life in line and challenge in a way that this person will become very aggressive and violent towards you. So it is very important to know that. I'm sure I don't want the video to be too long. You can go and research more about this chemical, this hormone. Oxytocin is referred to love hormone that creates emotional attachment to within two people, and this is the same hormone as well that creates bond between a child and a mother. So it is very important. Now I'm going to move on to coping strategy. Now, coping strategies or healing strategy. Number one, we are working on the belief now that the spouse is ready to come back home and ready to let go the lover. Without that, with the third party in that relationship, we can't move forward. And no amount of counseling can do that. So the person that has gone out need to come to a conclusion whether they are letting go their lover, because your counsel is a matter of going out of counseling's room and call their lover again. So they need to come to a conclusion that they are leaving their lover and they are coming back home with spirit, soul, and body. This is not a matter of being at home and your mind is somewhere. You are coming back home, spirit, soul, and body. That is a starting point. And then number two, you want to sit down with your spouse. You want to ask them direct questions. Like, for example, what caused it? Why have they gone out? What is it that they've gone out to look for that you don't have? So you need to ask that, and you need to know if it's you, or if it's you want to know if it's you or if it's just them. So after that, then you move to forgiveness. He or she is going to forgive herself or himself, the one that has gone out. You have to give him time or give her time to forgive, because sometimes they feel guilty because they've gone out, and they are regretting that they've caused you pain. So you give them time to forgive. And you yourself, you want to forgive yourself. Maybe they end up saying that you are the cause. There's something that you've done. Although there is always a positive way to deal with issue, but in case they come up and say you are the cause, you too, you want to forgive yourself. And this forgiveness is a proper forgiveness. It's not a forgiveness. I've seen cases where they'll bring two people together and say, we don't want you to tell story, just forgive yourself. No. Proper forgiveness. Let this person get it in their head, their heart, in their spirit, that they really want to forgive. And allow this person to express himself or herself. That is a proper forgiveness. When you have a proper forgiveness, you'll be able to move on to proper healing. Then now healing. Allow your spouse that has gone out, give them time to heal properly, and also give them time to rebuild the trust, because sometimes the one that has been cheated on, sometimes they don't give time for the one that has gone out to rebuild the trust in the marriage. And also the one that has gone out sometimes blame the one that has been cheated on for not healing quickly. No, you people have to give yourself time to heal properly until that person is ready to look at your eyes and not be able to remember the pains that you have caused them. That is a proper healing. When you don't heal properly in this session, that is what always lead to divorce sometimes, not the infidelity itself. It is this period of not being able to forgive or to heal on time, or not giving each other time to rebuild trust. That is something that sometimes lead to divorce. And this session, people, couples always struggle in this session. But I always tell people, this is a time that you have to begin to reflect on your marriage. Begin to take inventory of your marriage. How long have you been in this relationship? Do you have children in this relationship? Are there other things that you build together in this relationship? Look at those things. There's something that we call protective factor. Those are the things you look at that will make you to think again and be able to try to look for a way of amending situation. So, and also sometimes people take decision at this time to let go and remember that when you are giving up your relationship between these two people, you are not only separating from your husband or your wife. There are a lot of friends that you'll be separating with, and that will be affecting what we call your social network. I know that some people, they divorce and they still maintain some friends. It will be affecting your network, like some in-laws that you have built together. They have become family just because these two of you are together. So you have to consider all those. And sometimes, like me now, for example, I've been in a relationship with my husband for 32 years, right from boyfriend to marriage, 32. And sometimes when our old friends call, sometimes when we receive their call, it's like, oh my God, these people will be coming for so long. And the reason why this relationship is still there, I mean the relationship of friends and family, the reason why it's still there is because these two people are still together. So you have to consider all that. And you have to remember that if, for example, if the tire of your car has issue, you are not going to throw the whole car away. You want to look for a way of amending it. So the same thing applies to relationship. You have to consider your relationship. Remember the scenario that I said, when an armed robber come to rob you. You don't, because an armed robber come to rob your home or violate your home, and run away from your home or go and look for another home. Remember that we have robbers, armed robbers everywhere. So consider that. This is where I'm going to end today. This is the last point I'm going to give. So when we are able to work with all these points, then we'll be able to be thinking of how we can survive after infidelity. Thank you for watching Counseling Made Simple with Ellen Francis. I will be seeing you again. If you have any point or you have any topic that you want me to discuss or any point you want me to elaborate on, I'm ready to receive your call. Thank you. And you want to know more of my topic and scenario, you can follow me on my page. I'm on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching Counseling Made Simple with Ellen Francis. I'll be seeing you again. Thank you. Bye for now.